Hello and welcome to another episode of Belongs to the Shadows podcast. I'm your creepy host, Jaime Bennett. And as always, listener discretion is strongly advised. This is the 14th episode of Belongs to the Shadows podcast. Hard to believe that there's been that many episodes. So I wanted to talk about Georgia. The haunted history in Georgia, or haunted places in Georgia, creepy places in Georgia, however you want to word it. I live in Georgia. I've said that before. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I live in Georgia, but let's just say it is, within the northwest Georgia area. It doesn't take me very long to get to Chattanooga, Tennessee, or Atlanta. So, yeah, I live in that area of Georgia. I wanted to talk about the haunted places in Georgia. It's not just in my area of Georgia, but in several different areas of Georgia. I wanted to talk about this because I came across a very interesting trail. And I would like to go see it. And if I ever do go see it, I will be filming on location, so you all can see the trail on the podcast. Yeah. So without further ado, I do have to give a warning. I will probably mispronounce things. We all know this. I mispronounce things all the time. It's just who I am. Anyhow, this is going to be near Atlanta, Georgia. And I do want to go see it. I stumbled across it somehow on my news feed on Facebook or something. Some way, somehow I stumbled across it and I'm like, ooh, maybe I should talk about the haunted places in Georgia and talk about this particular trail. So it's called the Doll's Head Trail, and it's located near Atlanta, Georgia. It's a hiking area in DeKalb County, Georgia. So if I'm mispronouncing any of these, I'm not originally from Georgia, so deal with it. We pronounce things how we pronounce things. I actually grew up near St. Louis, Missouri. My daughter was born in St. Louis, Missouri. A lot of people like to say that we're from Chicago, but we are not. We lived in Southern Illinois. And that was not too far from Paducah, Kentucky. So if any of you have heard of Saluki Country, have heard of SIUC, then that's the area of Southern Illinois that I am from. I miss it sometimes. I miss, the familiarity of Southern Illinois and being able to just go to the zoo. Yes, they do have a zoo in Atlanta. We have not been to the zoo in Atlanta yet, but maybe one of these days. I can't drive Atlanta. I'm going to be honest. I cannot drive Atlanta. And Atlanta is a lovely city, but I have no desire in driving Atlanta. My husband doesn't even like driving Atlanta, and he's got nerves of steel when it comes to driving. But anyhow, hopefully this is on the outside of Atlanta, but I don't know. I am not good with direction. So I'm going to put credit where credit is due. I'm going to put, the links in the description, the author of any article that I tell you about, and, we'll give credit where credit is due. That's how we do it here. So let's see if we can't get you some history on this Atlanta's Doll's Head Trail. This is rails2trails.org, and it's a trail blog, and it's Atlanta's Doll Head Trail is an eerily cool trailside attraction with a great cause. This was written by Amy Capp, and it was, put online October 27th of 2020. And I'm going to try to get you all some photos I'm going to put up on the screen so that you guys can see why it's so eerie looking. There's that haunted island, which I will talk about probably on another episode. But there's a haunted island that has baby dolls and doll heads. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this, because it kind of reminded me of that whenever I first saw it. So this trail began as kind of a dark joke, all told, but the Doll's Head Trail, a name that doesn't quite sum up the 2.5 mile creepy trail turned art exhibit, tucked away in DeKalb County's Constitution Lakes Park in Atlanta, Georgia. It has evolved into a regional and national attraction since its inception a decade ago. Yeah. There's a lot of creepy photos. Doll head. You know what this also reminds me of? It reminds me of like Sid. Sid from Toy Story. When I saw this, I'm like, yeah, that seems like a trail that Sid from Toy Story would totally design. So I'm going to go to a different article because that one didn't explain the history of it. And I know that there is a website that actually explains the history of it. So here we go. This, of course, comes from TripAdvisor, and sometimes they give you good insight into it. But this one's not really saying anything here. Let's see. They give it high ratings, and one of the people said, "Okay, weird, but worth the side trip." So that would be worth seeing. I'm trying to find okay, here we go. This is from CNN. So maybe they will give a little bit more of the history behind it. This is exactly why I need to research this before I tell you all, but that's okay. We're organic. We're going to go with it. So this is from CNN, and you can find it at www.cnn.com. Travel article, Doll's Head Trail, Atlanta, Georgia. And let's see who wrote this article. By Forrest Brown for CNN, and it was published on August 15th of 2019. So he says you're off for a ramble in the woods. The trail is narrow, the bush is thick. Everywhere you look, trees, bushes, greenery. Then you spot it, half hidden, nestled against a fallen, rotten log. You go up for a closer look to be sure that what you think you're seeing is what you're really seeing. But there it is, a disembodied baby doll's head set up as a little art display, no less. I hate these pop-up ads, I'm telling you. And then you see another and another, along with other discarded, weather-worn objects that are veritably parade from the island of misfit toys. Where on earth are you? Well, you're mere miles from the world's busiest airport and literally yards outside the city limits of Atlanta, Georgia. So yes, it is outside Atlanta, Georgia. So he says, welcome to one of the strangest, most semi-disturbing, semi-delightful travels you may ever take, hiking on the Doll's Head Trail. So yeah. He says that even without the bodiless baby doll heads and other found objects set up as art pieces, this is a rather offbeat place. There are a lot of offbeat trails in Georgia, and there's a lot of offbeat trails in southern Illinois as well. That's the similarities between Georgia and where I lived in southern Illinois. I lived near the Shawnee National Forest, and there's so many trails in that, forest line. Like, there's a lot of trails and a lot of places to explore. So this is located in Constitution Lakes Park, and it is a wild area jammed quite unexpectedly between a major industrial road, an active freight line, a small river, and the infamous I-285 perimeter. As you drive past 18-wheelers, body repair shops, and acres of razor wire, a park complete with 2 lakes is the last thing you expect in this location. But pull off at the sign, drive a short distance, park your car, and enter another world. Creepy world. Like I said, Sid from Toy Story. Now cloaked in thick woods, you can still hear the industrial hum of trucks in a city on the move. But you can also pick up vigorous bird calls cutting through the noise, and then out of the blue, 2 grown deer bolt across the path, undisturbed by human intrusion. We have deers here. Like, I don't live exactly out in the country. I kind of do, but not really. Not really. And we have deers that come through here, even though we're in like school limits and stuff, and it's not exactly the country. So he says, now cloaked in the thick woods, you can still hear the industrial hum. So you definitely don't expect something like this to be in an industrial zone or be located in a place like that. The smooth paved road, kept shady by leafy trees, eventually leads to a lake. The 2 lakes here are old red clay excavation pits that filled up with water. So the lake is more like a bog or swamp pond that you might find closer to the coast than the mountains. It feels very primordial here, but the best is yet to come as you head from the lake, he says. A swampy, feverish southern menagerie. So he goes on to say nature is great, but it's the bizarre folk art displays made with found objects in the park that take the place to the next level. Creepy. It takes it to the next level of creepy. Disembodied doll heads you stumble upon often come with displays and messages. This particular photo that he included has a doll head in a captain's hat, and it says, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." So that's one of them, but another head is placed inside a discarded fan blade with a nearby sign, "Fan Dance." Yet another has body, but only sticks for legs. The display managed to be creepy and charming all at once. Yeah, sounds interesting. So they don't want you to bring items in, obviously, and leave them. So be respectful to the park. Like, this runs me nuts every single time I go to, like, a campground or a park to walk a trail. They'll have trash cans right there, and yet there'll be trash just a few feet from the trash can. Like, quit being lazy. Quit being lazy and disrespectful and just walk your little booty over to the trash can and throw the trash away. It's not that hard. Just do it. Be respectful because, if people keep being disrespectful and stuff like that, sometimes these parks close down. Like they shut down because people are being disrespectful. So please be respectful. They have volunteers for this park, and they give you directions on how to get there. But I just wanted to let you all know that this park exists. And like I said, whenever I came across it, I automatically thought Sid from Toy Story. I believe that's his name, Sid from Toy Story. It's been a long time since I've seen Toy Story. I feel very, very old. My cousin loved Toy Story when he was little, and now he's a full grown adult. So I feel very old. Yeah, Sid from Toy Story. Oh, goodness. I am getting old. Time flies by way too fast. But I hope you enjoyed hearing about the Doll's Head Trail. I should have done more research, but there's not a whole lot to be said about it. I will include pictures and let y'all know how to get there, so that you can check it out. If you feel inclined to check it out, you can check it out. A lot of these places are really interesting. Like, you would never think that a place like this exists, and then you stumble upon it, and it's obscure and interesting. What can I say? So I'm gonna go into haunted places in Georgia. So this article I did do research on this a little bit before I started talking on here. But hey, the screw ups on the podcast are funny. So I'm giving you comic relief while talking about haunted history. Anyhow, this is called Where to Find Famous Georgia Ghosts. And you can find it on exploregeorgia.org. Things to do article, Where to Find Famous Georgia Ghosts. Yeah. And it doesn't. Okay, yeah, it was written by Caroline Eubanks. I'm not sure when it was published. It's not given a year, but I will give you a link to it. Don't worry, don't fret. You'll get a link to it, and you can read it all for yourself and explore it. So she says, as one of the original 13 colonies, Georgia's history as a state dates back more than 300 years. Over that time, there have been spooky stories about hauntings and spirit sightings from the mountains to the coast. If you dare, visit these cities and towns and explore some of their famous landmarks to find out if seeing is actually believing. So America's Windsor Hotel. It opened in 1892. The Windsor Hotel in downtown Americus was built to attract snowbirds, escaping the cold temperatures in the north. The 100-room Victorian building has hosted countless notable figures, including gangster Al Capone and President Jimmy Carter. That's a combination. But it's the guests that never left that add the property to the list of haunted places. Ghost hunters come there. They go there to try and spot the ghost of a little girl, the daughter of a housekeeper who was rumored to have been pushed down an elevator shaft. That's awful. Another ghost reported to haunt the hallways of the Windsor is Floyd Lowery, the longtime doorman that the in-house pub is named for. Another place is located in Atlanta, and it's a historic Oakland cemetery. Man, I can't even talk today. Don't mind me. Historic Oakland Cemetery is where Atlanta's most notable figures found their final resting place, including Margaret Mitchell, Maynard Jackson, Maynard, there we go, Menard. Why could I not say that? Maynard Jackson and Bobby Jones. The men behind the Great Locomotive Chase were hanged on the outskirts of the cemetery and later buried there, along with many Civil War soldiers built in 1852 after overcrowding at the other cemeteries. The other area cemeteries. Oakland resembles a garden with winding paths, trees, and elaborate mausoleums. That's something I like about the cemeteries here in Georgia. It's like a lot of them are Southern Gothic cemeteries. And I love Southern Gothic. Absolutely love it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. You're going to laugh. When I was younger, there was a show called American Gothic. And it had Sheriff Lucas Buck. I absolutely loved that show. That show was fascinating. It was odd. And I just loved that show. And they had, obviously Gothic cemeteries in the show. And that's what has made me appreciate the show so much. I'm always and forever going to think of actor Gary Cole as Lucas Buck. If you've not seen American Gothic, you are missing out, especially if you like shows like that, because I've talked about American Horror Story on here. Well, that was American Horror Story of its time. And yeah. And here's the funny thing. Let me see. Not really funny, but Sarah Paulson was actually in American Gothic. And she's also an American Horror Story. So that's probably why I love American Horror Story so much, is because Sarah Paulson was in American Gothic, and now she's transferred to American Horror Story. If you have not seen American Gothic, then you really need to see American Gothic. Like, especially if you watch shows like that. Not sponsored by American Gothic, by the way, but I just needed to share my love for that show. Anyhow, getting off the topic, I'm famous for doing that. Try to keep up with me. I digress. All right, so just do yourself a favor and check out American Gothic. I'll put a link down below where you can watch it, or however, you know how we do here. Anyhow, so the Oakland Cemetery, I caught off track here, but I love Southern Gothic cemeteries. What can I say? Historic Oakland Cemetery is where Atlanta's most notable individuals found their final resting place, like I told you. It resembles a garden with winding paths, trees, and elaborate mausoleums, like I said. Tours are offered throughout the year, but it's the highly popular Capturing the Spirit of Oakland tours during the Halloween season that tells of the hauntings over the years. So yeah, you want to get your tickets if you're going to check out Oakland Cemetery, because they sell out. They sell out fast. The Fox Theater. Okay, so the Fox Theater was built in 1929 as a Moorish-inspired movie palace. But today it hosts all sorts of performances, from concerts to plays, as well as their tours. During the Halloween season, the theater offers ghost tours that take guests through the historic theater to learn about the ghostly sightings, and as well as unexplained events. Apparitions of men and women have been spotted throughout the years, all in Victorian period attire. Perhaps the most notable ghost in Fox Theatre is Roosevelt, the man who worked in the boiler room for decades. Of course, of course. The Ellis Hotel is next on our stop of spooky. The Ellis Hotel. So before it was the Ellis Hotel, the Winecoff Hotel was built in 1913 as a supposed fireproof hotel. But in the year 1946, packed with 300 guests, the hotel caught fire, killing 119 of those guests. Firefighters could only reach 8 of the 15 stories. Oh, good gosh. And there are images of people jumping from windows. Frank Winecoff, the hotel's namesake, was among the dead, despite the damage the building reopened as a hotel in the 1950s and later as a retirement home. That's disturbing. Before becoming the Ellis Hotel in the 1990s, guests have reported smelling smoke, and fire alarms have gone off at the time the original fire took place. Rhodes Hall. And my phone goes to ringing because I forgot to put it on silent. Spam phone calls constantly. Spam phone calls. It's ridiculous how many spam phone calls I get. Like, I block them and I still get a ton of spam phone calls. But anyhow, known as the Castle on Peachtree, Rhodes Hall is one of the oldest mansions in Atlanta and a hotbed of paranormal activity, of course. Built in the early 1900s with granite from Stone Mountain, which is another attraction in Georgia, of course, the mansion has been featured on TV shows such as Ghost Hunters and WSB's Georgia Haunted Hidden Treasures. Because of the spine-chilling encounters, visitors and staff have reported experience Rhodes Hall after dark and hear the eerie tales about this Atlanta landmark during Legends and Lore tours in October. A lot of the haunted tours, of course, are going to take place in October. The part of Georgia that I live in, they have haunted tours, cemeteries here. One of my favorite cemeteries in the area that I have traveled to and have talked about on Belongs to the Shadows is Myrtle Hill Cemetery, because there is a particular angel sculpture in that cemetery that has drawn me in ever since I have moved to Georgia 8 years ago. I need to do research on that statue. By the way, and I'm going to promote myself here. Promote myself here for a minute if I can. I am actually a photographer. I've been a photographer for most of my life, and I have entered a photo of that angel statue in a contest called America's Favorite Photos. And knock on wood, I'm currently in first place. And the person who wins first place through the 4 rounds that they do, America's Favorite Photo, not sponsored by them, wins $10,000, and then they also win $10,000 to go to a charity of their choice. Like I've said before, my husband has recently been diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's. There is no cure yet. But they have come a long way with the medication for Parkinson's, and there's hope. There is hope. So it would be really, really, really amazing if I won this contest and won the $10,000, not only to help us out and help my husband with his Parkinson's treatment and medical expenses, because let's face it, we're kind of having a rough time financially right now. I had to quit my job for reasons, and to be at home with my husband and help take care of things around the house, to alleviate his stress and to support him on his medical journey, of course. But so finances are a little tight right now. We're having a hard time paying for, medical expenses on top of life 101 bills. So winning that $10,000 would be incredible for us and would help us out. But not only that, it also helps out, the charity that I picked. It helps out Parkinson's. It helps out Parkinson's patients. It helps them out with, therapy and physical activity. So, and that's really, really important. So it would be incredible for them to get $10,000. That would be very helpful with them as well. So you get a free vote. You get free daily votes every single day. I'm going to put my link down below. So if you feel like voting for me, it would be very much appreciated. If you do donate, donate for votes, it does go to a good cause. So if you want to do that, that's cool. You'll be donating to a really wonderful cause, but not expected. You can just use a free daily vote, and that really helps me out, and it helps me continue to stay in first place. And hopefully I've been praying and keeping my fingers crossed, and anything that I can do. And if you're not the praying type, send positive vibes. But anything that I can do to hopefully win that contest, because it would really help out. But anyhow, speaking of Southern Gothic cemeteries, Myrtle Hill is a Southern Gothic cemetery, and I don't know what it is about this angel statue, but there's a story there, and I need to research that story and find out what is going on with that statue. The next stop on our creepy place tour is Covington. Now, Covington, that probably sounds familiar to you because that is where they filmed the Vampire Diaries. And they do Vampire Diary tours. So it is connected on screen with the filming side of the Vampire Diaries. And they do have, the Mystic Grill there and all that stuff. But it also has spooky connections in real life. Dating back to its founding in 1822, Covington Ghost Tours share these stories through walks around the historic square. With paranormal experts, the guides show video accounts of hauntings and share tales to make your hair stand on end. These tours don't indulge in gimmicks like cheesy costumes, just real stories. And like I said, you can take a Vampire Diaries tour. I will try to put that down below. I will also put like the Mystic Grill down below. They did fashion a grill bar, after the one that is seen in Vampire Diaries. So it's not the actual one. It's just one inspired by the one in Vampire Diaries. You can also take the originals, the Vampire Diaries spin-off, the originals. You can also take tours pertaining to those filming locations. They actually filmed a really, really prominent scene from the originals. If you've never seen the originals, again, do yourself a favor and watch the originals and Vampire Diaries. You don't have to watch Vampire Diaries first to enjoy the originals, but it will make more sense to you if you watch Vampire Diaries and watch the originals. You can watch them at the, back and forth, because they do have crossovers. But yeah, There's a prominent scene that was filmed in Rome, Georgia, filmed in the area, and it was filmed on a bridge in Rome, Georgia. I will try to share that picture, or at least, share what the bridge's name is. I can't think of what the bridge's name is right now, because I took pictures and videos of that bridge a long time ago. But if I can find the bridge, I will try to pop in a photo of that bridge at some point in this video, um, in this podcast. But yeah, one of the major scenes was filmed at that particular location. There's a lot of film locations in Rome, Georgia. There's a lot of film locations in the area. I need to just, break down and do a podcast of that at some point. I wanted to. Um, So here's a name that I have a hard time pronouncing, but I think it's Dalanaga or something like that. I told you I'm going to mispronounce things. Known as the home of Georgia's gold rush in the 1820s, Dalanagas, I'm so sorry, I'm probably butchering that. History predates it by many years with local Native American tribes. The tragic past includes the Trail of Tears and Civil War, which plays a role in hauntings experienced there. Soldiers have been spotted at Mount Hope Cemetery and dark energy felt at the Fred Jones Building. Dalanaga. Walking tours offers tours at night, including their Booze and Brews pub crawl. There are so many haunted places on this list. I might not be able to get to all of them because, I like to keep my videos to around 45 minutes or less because, I don't want to bore you all. And my throat gets dry. Even though I have a bottle of water near me usually. Today I don't. I don't know why. This next place is Dalton. So Dalton's history has connections to Native American tribes that were removed on the Trail of Tears, the Civil War, and other sordid tales. Among the reportedly haunted locations is the Wink Theater, where a construction worker is said to have died. Dalton Ghost Tours, of course, they have ghost tours in pretty much every haunted location in Georgia, has been in operation for more than 15 years and visits the best of these spots. Decatur, Georgia. So it's just east of Atlanta. Also has dark legends led by paranormal investigator and psychic medium Decatur Ghost Tours, with some of the city's oldest homes that are said to be haunted and a Civil War cemetery year round. There are quite a few more places on this list. Like I said, I will put a link below so that you all can check it out. I don't want to read the whole article to you, but there are quite a few haunted locations in even my area of Georgia. I live in the Rome area of Georgia. Rome's not extremely far from me. It's not like it's 2 hours from me. It's reasonable. It doesn't. It's not too hard to get to Rome. Anyhow, like I said, if you get a chance to visit Myrtle Cemetery, if you like visiting cemeteries, Myrtle Hill Cemetery is gorgeous. It's very, very peaceful, and they did film the funeral scene from the Fast and the Furious, one of the Fast and Furious movies there. And one of the angel statues you actually see in the scene of that movie. Please don't kill me. Don't get mad at me. For the people who are huge fans of Fast and the Furious, please don't get mad at me. But I have never seen any of those movies. I just know that one of the Fast and the Furious movies was filmed at Myrtle Hill Cemetery, and I just thought that was really, really interesting. It's not that I wouldn't like the movies. I'm sure that they're really great movies. I just haven't gotten around to seeing them. Life be lifing. Life be lifing. And I usually watch things more along the lines of like Lord of the Rings, Wednesday. Like my TV show taste and movie taste is random. It's very random. Um, I love Stitch, and the live action Stitch movie that just came out recently. Oh my gosh, that movie was incredible. Here I am in my 40s crying at the movie theater because it was just so beautiful and I loved it so much and it just made me feel like a little kid again. Loved that movie. Anyhow, I hope you all have enjoyed this episode, even though I rambled and got off track a lot. I hope that you enjoy these episodes. I know that you all seem to enjoy the episodes that are like about Marie Laveau. That's my most popular Belongs to the Shadows podcast. But you also seem to enjoy episodes about cryptids. I will bring more episodes about cryptids back. Like I've said in several past podcasts, I am really, really wanting to go to the Bigfoot Museum around here, and I'm really, really wanting to do an interview with the people who take care of that museum. But I just have to call and ask them, and I have to get the funds together to take a tour, and all that. Like I said, funds are a bit tight right now. We are dealing with my husband's medical expenses, but you do what you can for those you love, and him having the proper medication, the proper neurology team, and proper medical care is extremely important, and it doesn't matter how much it costs at that point. We're making it. We are scraping by, and we're maneuvering the best we can. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We're hopeful, and that's all we can be. Until next time, you all stay creepy.